What's going on, guys? Brandon here. This is more or less just going to be an audio test. I want to see how all the gain settings are set here and how we're going to be moving forward as far as the lessons and live go. So what you're going to be hearing. So we did a little bit of market breakdown. We finally got the daily trend test, right? We finally had SPY run into the daily trend. We've been waiting for this since yesterday. I mean, we had that nice 50 EMA reject. Then we moved past up here, and it pretty much gave us a perfect better average rejection line. That's right when the wick connects to the body. Had it pretty much crossed directly, so lots of indecision yet. Great bull move. I don't know if it's going to complete this this big W pattern and break through this. We have the 100, coming into play very soon here, but it could easily move up from here, and waiting until the 9 gets back up here and holds it up, we should have a pullback. Hopefully not too big. I'd expect a little bit of consolidation off this, but if it breaks through, by all means, I would love the bulls in control. We can get back to swing trading a lot more, a lot safer plays with some hefty consolidation. So as we've seen on the 4-hour here, it did have that nice ramp look, and then it kind of put it in a doji all morning, and then finally went for the hills, right? So what I'd really like to see coming up on Monday, definitively, it looks like she wants to go through, guys. Like, this volume has definitely increased, has engulfed almost 3 or 4 previous days on the buy up, even off the buy up at lows here. The volume has increased all the way through all previous days except for this big press into the 200 and then the pullback and then a little bit of beat. So regardless, in the overall scheme of things, we are still very slightly in a downward green buying side. I really want to see volume level off. As you can see, anybody looking for a reason to dip by this, you see the huge increase in volume after something like back here in the early 9 to 917. You see all these little just consolidating nice roll candles where the market's all happy-go-lucky and not whipsawing. I really want to get back to that. And like, this stuff is just, I enjoy the volatility here and there, but I really want to get back to some better swing trade hold, bigger option plays, stuff like that. So just talk about a couple of the day's plays here. One over Tesla. I just want to check on Apple. Apple was our more to the downside play, being one of the biggest extended tech stocks and having a lot of divergence the last couple of days. You could easily see why watching Apple, the last few days as the market's ripping, this is dumping. There's a complete divergence. So hopefully you weren't betting on the Apple long. We're looking for a pop to short on this. It had a perfect double top at open. Ended up watching Tesla at the open instead of taking the short. You can see the overlay was a perfect rejection here at the 180 level. Came all the way back down, had a very weak bounce, and just kind of the downtrend. Perfect retrace into VWAP for the first time. The lower highs failing VWAP, so another big wave down. And this thing continued all day until that 177 range, right? 177.04, 177.03. So that was a really nice full sell-off day on Apple. That was kind of a miss in my book. NVIDIA as well. I expected some downside in NVIDIA today, but with the market squeeze, we got the up move. So I know a couple of you guys mentioned you caught the early move here, as we did in Tesla, on the pop and sell off into trend. That was what we were looking for in the short play anyway. So a lot of the guys in the opening 15 here, opening hour, caught a nice little short play. But man, this thing really have a good day with the rest of the market, and unfortunately consolidated right at resistance for the rest of the day and chopped up. But it had a really good faster move. AMD was the only other one I was watching, and AMD was a long play, and I was really looking for a big sell-off. That's the only reason we're getting long here. It was kind of failing the trend. I said, well, if it does, we are going to go long on it, wait for it to really get extended to the downside before it comes back up, right? A couple of us caught the first break over VWAP for a nice little scalp. Then I went back to watching Tesla for a while, and ended up closing a 20% position to the green side there, and a small green on AMD on this scalp here. That was great. So as you can see here, AMD did do the big sell-off and the big retrace. It was kind of expected. Unfortunately, the daily chart didn't have quite the push I wanted to. A big indecisive day. It was weird with the market flying, right? How AMD would just kind of stay flat. I still like it to the long side. I think it's just waiting for the EMAs to really get tested. You can see all the buybacks off the 9 here. It's still looking really strong. It's still getting really hefty buys above 20, right? Inevitably, I'd really like to just see it consolidate for a little bit, hold the $20 and continue the gap fill. 22.75. If this thing doesn't gap up, I'm really hoping it doesn't through the weekend. I'd really like a couple more tests, maybe to the 50 to come down to the 100. And this will be most likely the main watch for a swing. So I really want to see it hold this $20 level and then try to get this gap fill up to this 22.77 area, I think that was. So that's what I'll be looking for. I know a lot of you guys watched Netflix today as well. Big relief on Netflix. This thing was getting beat down pretty bad. Had major support. What do we have a major support on the daily? Go back, see where I wanted here. The major end all support that it had gotten shot down to is this 256.75. Just kind of left that level on because it correlates back, and we were waiting for it to come back up and mount this 271.25. This resistance that I had in a couple days ago did, and I kind of lost track of it. And I didn't really want to trade it. Had better plays on NVDA and AMD coming up, which was great, but it definitely did remount the 9 EMA. So from this point on Netflix, I'm really going to look for a healthy pullback. Let's take at the 5-day 5-minute here. You can see we're in a decent trend of that dip and squeeze and dip and squeeze, and then we just kind of consolidation and rolled. So still staying over the 200 EMA for the most part today. So I think the consolidation is going to come, and I'm hoping we're just going to go sideways for a little bit up here, wait for the 9 EMA to come back up. Ultimately, I'd like to see Netflix a healthy pullback to the 9, like maybe drop below the 9 and get bought back up. Maybe a tag to that 278.25 level in consolidation and head up. So I'm hoping to get a pullback, possibly get a long entry here for a swing as well. I'm gonna wait for it to head up to the 50 EMA. We do have major resistance coming up. I think one of the bigger ones is the 300. So I really do want to see a pullback on this, hold the 9 EMA, and continue up to that 300. Inevitably, most likely, the 50 EMA will be coming up to test it while we get to that 300 range. So this will be good for a long play and a swing. We'll be looking at it early Monday morning. I will be starting my Robinhood small account challenge. I might throw like 1,000 or so in there. I haven't really decided yet for Monday, and then we will go from there. I'll be looking at Netflix and AMD, both trades, maybe a little bit of Apple for the starting option plays here. Those will be the most extended. Don't know how much I'll be swinging them. Most likely I'll be doing intraday, real slow holds. Expiration date's going to be real close. They might be a tad bit volatile, but we're going to be trying to get the extremes. We're going to be short and tops and long and bottoms, most likely only focusing on long in the bottoms, because when you're doing intraday options, and especially on Robinhood, kind of fills are in. You don't really want to do some puts, and I don't really want to teach vertical spreads too much right now, but we're going to start building YouTube off the small account Robinhood challenge starting Monday. I'm going to throw some money in there. We're going to see if we can't get some trades down and get some green starts on some dip buys and the calls. We're going to start fresh under the PDT rule now, unfortunately, and see where we can build this account. I really have a good feeling about focusing on these dip buys and call strategies where we focus on the trend change, where we don't just kind of jump in the first hour or two. And this is going to really amplify the Elites program, and I'm really going to press this into the Elites program that comes out very early January, where we are going to be able to identify some of these longer trend moves, like stuff like this, where the NVIDIA dipped a rip, or we waited for Tesla was supposed to be like a short play that I covered. TOS. In a recent video, but stuff like that where you really just let the stock play out. We won't even touch our Robinhood. I'll have a couple orders sitting up on screen, but I most likely won't be taking anything within the first half hour. I'm really going to let the stock develop its trend for the first half hour or so, especially where the SPY is right now. You know, as well as I do testing this daily here, we could easily have a gap down from here or a continuation. So Monday's going to be the end all be all. See some ticks down here at 275.65 already. And it might just get real loose with a lot of limits. A lot of people probably are going to take some profits here that have been getting in on this dip buy, or smart enough to grab the gap fill here. And most likely lots of option players, and of course expiring today. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully Monday morning is going to be as volatile and clean as it was today. We had some really good plays today, down to the penny and down to the rejection. So if you could just give me a comment below on how the sound came through on your guys's, whether it be a device list. I watched on my iPad, I watched on my iPhone, my Nexus, Samsung, laptop. If you could just give me just a small little hint of what you were looking at and how clear everything was. I just want to make sure my audio settings are going to stay consistent, and you know, for you guys to have a good quality you know, audio stream here. So that's what I got for you guys today. I'll see you Monday morning. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend.